response because we expect Detroit to come out like gangbusters.
Well, the expectation clearly is that they try to throw a knockout punch early on New York.
Cheryl Ford backing up, missing her first shot, and Catherine McCarville is able to get the rebound. Ford did not play the last 19 games of the regular season because of a left knee issue. McCarville from the outside rolls it in.
I think this is the challenging part for Detroit. McCarville can pull you away, as can McCarville, so you negotiate that 6'8" frame of Feenstra at 15 feet.
And then responding is Swin Cash for the shot. These two teams split their 4 games during the regular season. McCarville again from the outside, leaves that way short. And Feenstra comes down with it. Tweety Nolan looking to run. Allen unable to go in, but Nolan showing her quickness. Is there anybody faster than her in the league?
You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who's faster with the basketball in their hands. That's a major challenge for Erin Thorne defensively. There is no comparison in athleticism.
Out of BYU, a great pure shooter. Christian from the outside. That one skips out, and Feenstra has another miss. Katie Smith again 0 for in that first game. 0 for 7 from the floor, did not score. She also went 0 for 7 the first time these two teams played during the regular year. Pat Coyle may be her best coaching job this year, now in her 4th year with one of the youngest teams in the league. Shamika Christian was called for the personal foul.
Pat Coyle's contention is that Shamika Christian had defensive position, and it was Cash who initiated that contact and really should have been called for it.
Well, that's a good sign for Katie Smith. Her first shot goes in.
Yeah, there have been times where she said it's been paralysis by analysis. This is one of the best shooters. In fact, I think the best shooter in women's basketball history who has struggled from the perimeter this year. So we're just thinking about it too much.
Shooting 36% from the floor during the regular season. Erin Thorne, that's what she can do for you. Pull up and hit it, averaging just under 10 points a game in the regular year. Dealt with a sprained left foot, but has come back into the starting lineup. And Smith steps on the baseline. Ball goes over to New York.
Well, Katie Smith, we talked about it, 6,000 career points as a professional athlete, but against New York, twice she has gone 0 for 7 from the floor. Game 1 in the regular season and Game 1 in the playoffs.
Game 1, 0 for 7 from the floor, 0 for 5 from 3. Got 3 points from the free throw line, a season low, and there's McCarville again from the outside.
Well, I think you've got to come with Lynette Pearson off the bench pretty soon because Feenstra can't step up and check that McCarville at that far away from the basket.
And as soon as you say it, Lynette Pearson will be coming in. She's been a great spark off the bench all year for them. Bill Lambert, what more can you say about Bill?
Plenty. 2-time WNBA champion. It is from him that this team gets its mojo.
And it's swagger and everything else. Lori Moore coming up with the miss. Bill will tell you exactly what is on his mind anytime. Both of our coaches mic'd up today. And a foul away from the ball. I think they're going to get Pearson.
The elbow we took to the face that they're showing on TV right now. Let's go. You haven't called one on them. Let's go, Tanya.
Tina Napier hearing from Bill Lambert. It was a foul on Lynette Pearson, and she is now guarding McCarville. Christian from just inside three-point range.
Notice the difference, right? You go small on McCarville, so instead of stepping to 15 feet, you put her on the box and try to let her overpower the smaller defender.
McCarville about 25 pounds lighter than last year and blocks Cheryl Ford's shot, and then a foul is called on the follow.
When 6'8" Katie Feenstra was checking her, McCarville went to the perimeter game with Lynette Pearson, who she's got size on. She goes right to the box, beats her off the bounce, and kicks to the shooters. This is a major point for Detroit, not letting the bigs of New York take you off the bounce to set up those shooters.
Cheryl Ford now heading to the free throw line after Catherine McCarville fouled her. As you see, she missed the last 19 games of the regular season with a knee injury. And on that, let's go over to Rebecca Lobo.
Pam, I was talking to trainer Laura Ramos before the game. She said Cheryl Ford's about 85%. She said she just needs to get back and trust the knee. Cheryl said her wind is just so I asked about her timing. She said, I don't know. I didn't take a shot in that first game. My free throw shooting, as you can see there, she said, was horrible. Keep an eye on this, though. She can make the injury worse, especially if she lands awkwardly.
And I had a chance to speak with her briefly before the game, said that she said, I'm fine and I'm not sore after playing just under 11 minutes. She had 4 rebounds, a steal, and a couple of fouls, and missed her only shot. More with her offensive rebound.
The one area where it won't have an impact is her ability to board it, and that's been the thing that historically she's done really well against New York.
Grayville, who's been battling a couple of injuries herself, a knee and a hip have been bugging her, missed it, and you notice that she's not the player she has been.
She just doesn't look like herself. Remember the second half of last season? I thought she was playing as well as any power forward in the league.
Second leading scorer and rebounder on this team, and there's Swin Cash, very aggressive to the hoop. Swin has 4.
I think this team is much better with Swin as aggressive and assertive and attacking the basket.
4 points and 5 rebounds for Cash in the first game, in which she only played 23 minutes. This New York team trying to pull off a monumental upset after winning game 1 on their home floor on Friday. Lee Nolan tips it away. 6 seconds left on the shot clock for New York.
Swin Cash changes the dynamic of this team when she's aggressive offensively. I just feel like she's finally getting her confidence back with that after that knee injury. This was one of the upper echelon finishes in transition in the league. It's just good to see Swin Cash back to the level she was at pre-injury.
Averaging 11 points and 6 rebounds during the regular season.
When they're chucking us and we go to hoop and we're getting fouled, you have to get it both ways. The ball was in.
Deanna Nolan called for her first personal foul, and that will send Janelle McCarville to the free throw line.
All it was just a little of this. It wasn't
her 3rd season out of Minnesota, and really has been just a spectacular story this year. She had a bad back when she first was with Charlotte and was playing very overweight, and now she just looks great.
25 pounds lighter than she was a season ago, and I just feel like she's found her niche in New York. She and Pat Coyle are really hit it off together, and when you're in the same page as your head coach, you just feel better about things. Over the last 18 games, virtually unstoppable. When she was a collegiate at Minnesota, I thought she was the best passing center I had ever seen in college.
Wow.
All of those skills on display in the last 18 games of the season.
She's brought that passing skill now to the WNBA as Detroit takes the lead.
Hard to guard Deanna Nolan, Pam. There isn't enough athleticism with Thorne to check that.
In the top 20 in several categories in the WNBA this season. Grayville working against Pearson down low, and that turnaround is grabbed by Cheryl Ford. Katie Smith on the run. New York doing a good job of getting back. Ford working against McCarville, and she's able to will it in.
Yeah, McCarville did a pretty good job. Stayed between Ford and the basket, but that's just the powerful frame of Cheryl Ford. A power dribble up to the rim.
The ball is ticked away momentarily. Shot clock under 10. Carville setting the screen and then getting the ball. And throws it away as she went into no man's land underneath the basket. Cash taking it right to Crayveld, who blocks it. Lynette Pearson kicks it away from Thorne and gets the hoop.
Completely different level of intensity defensively from the Detroit Shock versus what we saw in the outset of the game in New York.
9-1 Detroit run has given them a 14-9 lead. Lori Moore, that one goes in and out, and Pearson gets it.
And quite simply, if you're New York, you must make shots. This is the best three-point shooting team in the league.
And they're going to get Tweety Nolan for her 2nd personal foul. So Detroit has to win. They're on a nice 9-1 run to take the lead. It's having to win today, and we have not had a repeat champion, as you see, for quite a while here.
2 teams go down in the first round. 2003, 2004, Seattle and Detroit, respectively. Right now, it's 8 zip points in the paint, and that's a major stat when you play Detroit. You've got to get some inside buckets.
And that was a mistake. McCarville trying to lead Christian, but instead threw it out of bounds.
3 down, put that double high pick, and then shoulder to shoulder.
Couple of changes. Kara Braxton has checked in now for Detroit. Katie Smith leaves that one short, and McCarville grabs it off the floor.
Good shot.
Pee Wee Johnson, number 7, also in for Detroit as the shot clock is at 5. McCarville to Thorne. Somebody has to put it out. Moore for 3, and she hits it right at the buzzer.
That may be the biggest difference in Lori Moore, her ability to make shots this season. Her points per game up significantly.
Averaging just under 10 points per game during the regular year, and another turnover. Moore said with Becky Hammond gone, she said she knew that during the offseason that she had to make herself, she said, I have to be a threat. I was looking forward to being in the same backcourt with Becky and bringing that mentality, but Hammond was traded away to San Antonio as Christian hits.
Christian is an explosive scorer when she starts to get on the roll. 16 points, a franchise-tying 15 boards in game 1.
Career playoff high for her. Braxton over Crayville, the fresh 24. Katie Smith left all alone, and her shot is still off. Hit her first 3, but has struggled with her last couple.
As a shooter, you cannot wish or will the basketball in the rim, and it's something Katie has struggled with all season long. Bill Laimbeer said, hey, relax. This is a game. We are entertainers.
Says that Katie gets all wound up.
Don't keep playing. Don't get frustrated.
And right on cue, Bill Laimbeer amplifies that point as Smith is called after the missed shot for that personal foul.
Here's the stat I was talking about. When you play Detroit, this is a team that wants to run it up your back. They want to dominate you in the box. They want to be the most physically dominating team in the league. Hey, you better come with something inside, Pam, or they will dominate and intimidate.
And so far, they have not scored underneath. Relying on jumpers, it helps when Christian continues to be hot. Shamika now has 6.
It's never a question if New York gets good shots. Their execution is superb. Their preparation is superb. It's whether they make them or not, Pam.
Pee Wee Johnson with the miss. Katie Smith has it knocked out of bounds. And the officials will decide as to who gets the ball, and they correct it. Good job as Tyna Napier, Kurt Walker, Michael Price got together. And the ball goes over to the right team.
Katie Smith has missed a couple of jump shots in a row. This will add to her frustration. You heard Bill Laimbeer say, don't get frustrated. I'll tell you what, she could miss shots, turn the ball over. If it comes down to a game-winning shot, I'll take my chances with her any day of the week.
Man, she is such a great player who's done so much in her career, winning an Olympic gold medal, WNBA All-Decade team, scored a mess of points in the old ABL as well. New York has answered with an 8-0 run after Detroit's 9-1 run gave them the lead. And now Detroit down by 3. Smith still going right forward, gets her own miss and puts it in.
So persistent. This is as mentally tough a guard as you'll find in the league.
Katie with 5. And the lead has been trimmed to 1. Carville working against Pearson and is unable to save it in.
Katie Smith goes off the dribble, and this is where she can be tough to guard. Has got very good ability to board it as well. And in elimination games, when you gotta have it, look at these numbers. 18 points, almost 50%, and sets other players up as well.
Let's go over now to Rebecca Lobo.
Well, Pam, I talked to Katie about her shooting woes against New York, and she said they don't do anything special against me. The shots I get are open. I just haven't shot the ball well all year. Sometimes I'm not looking to be a threat as a point guard. I'm trying to orchestrate things. I asked her if that mentality would change today, and she said, hey, we like it when it's us against the world, and when our backs are against the wall, we play better as a team.
Well, Pat Coyle would concede that exact point, Rebecca. She said, hey, Smith has had open shots against us. Guys, this is getting testy. The coaches are fired up. Bottom of your screen. Wow. They call that on Katie Smith for running over Janelle McCarville. I'll tell you what, Lynette Pearson hit the deck on the prior exchange for New York. The officials should be careful today.
Christian gets that one tipped away. 2 personal fouls now on Katie Smith. You get 6 in the WNBA before you're disqualified, but it is very, very physical. Braxton working down low against Tiffany Jackson, the rookie from Texas. Boy, that is a Pee Wee Johnson, crazy shot that almost went in. And then the foul called on the follow. We get Ashley Battle for hacking Lynette Pearson.
People were shocked to see Lynette Pearson in the starting lineup for game 1. Cheryl Ford was ready to play, but did not feel comfortable having been out that many games and starting. And so thus Lynette got that call.
Pearson is a 75% free throw shooter during the regular year as Ford is taking a break on the bench. Pearson has the front runner for the sixth Player of the Year award, a brand new award.
Yeah, I don't see how she doesn't win that award. She's been consistently excellent off the bench all year. The next player in the running would probably be Kara Lawson, but I mean, in my mind, Kara's almost a starter. And I know it's almost, I'm biased. I feel like Kara could start for so many teams.
Right, should be starting, and perhaps even for the team that she's on now. But Pearson, I think, kind of elevated past Kara because she filled in so well when Ford was hurt, and Shamika Christian is starting to feel it a little bit.
Yeah. You know, her teammates when she came into the league used to call her baby swoops because she's got a great first step and deep range on threes, and it's really been on display early.
She's got 10 points. Pee Wee again aggressive to the hoop, and this time it pays off. Shannon Johnson with her first basket. And Ashley Battle closes things out with a desperation shot. But the Detroit Shock, the defending champions, in a must-win situation. Down one game and down 1 point as we head to the second quarter. Come in now, Liberty assistant coach Nick DiPillo, and even though your team had a losing record in the regular season, you split with this tough Detroit team. Why do you match up so well against them?
I think our team raises their level of play when you play against the defending champs. They're who we aspire to be right now, and I think our bigs, we do a pretty good job inside for the most part whenever we face them. Janelle gives them some matchup problems, and McCarville stretches the defense a little bit on them.
This is a team that likes to physically dominate people. In the course of the season, you have matched up well in the post, but it's 12 zip points in the paint right now. How important is it to match up with them inside?
Well, it's very important. Right now, we're shooting 60% from 3 and 50%, and most of them have been jump shots right now. One thing, we just can't fall in love with that jump shot. We need to continue to play inside out, let our inside game give us a good presence inside, and hopefully that continues to open up the shots we have on the perimeter.
All right, Nick DiPillo, thank you very much. Good luck the rest of the way. And maybe someone who can help them down low has checked in, and there she is, Jessica Davenport, the rookie out of Ohio State, but she's called for steps.
A traditional back to the basket center, so maybe they get some points in the paint. Nolan and Smith, the starting guards for Detroit, who both play over 34 minutes a game, 2 personal fouls. Now clearly it becomes a story if either picks up one early. They are not in the game to start this second period.
Katie Smith, 4th in the league in minutes played this year. Tweedy was 3rd as Swin Cash misfires on the jumper. And the ball stays with Detroit as we check in again with Rebecca Lobo.
Pam, in that last Detroit huddle, Katie Smith was imploring her teammates to take a charge. Bill followed up by saying they'll call a charge, take the hit. Said we need rebounds, attack on defense, and don't lose your players. There's a long way to go. Play through the referees. It's going to turn around.
And the turnaround as Ashley Battle forced a turnover. They're still looking, New York is, for their first points in the paint in this ball game. Ashley Battle thought about it, thought again, shot clock at 4, inside to Jackson. And Jackson should have shot it, instead threw the ball away.
That's a young mistake. And New York is the least experienced in terms of their roster in playoff games played. Those were 2 young players.
And that illustrates how young they are.
Go get her.
The Minnesota Lynx also very young, but their average age at 25 years, youngest in the league this year.
New York likes to mix up their defenses. They come out of a man and go 2-3 zone.
Barrett Braxton can't get it, but battles for the offensive rebound, but cannot gather it in. Cheryl Ford checking back in with Tweedy Nolan. More basketball coming your way tonight on ESPN2. Seattle has to win in Phoenix to keep that Western Conference semi alive. That's at 7 Eastern. Then a doubleheader tomorrow night on NBA TV. Game 3, Connecticut at Indiana, followed by another Game 3, Sacramento at San Antonio. And then a couple of, if necessary, games on Tuesday, New York at Detroit or Phoenix at Seattle. WNBA.com has all of your information.
Nancy Lieberman said Phoenix by far the most impressive team in the playoffs. No questions asked. Nancy is right on the money. And defensively, what a job. Diana Taurasi was so physical with Lauren Jackson in that Rover defense. 0 points for Lauren in the fourth quarter. Unbelievable.
As they went into Seattle, the only team to win on the road in game 1. And they just spanked them. And the West bracket is, Cheryl Ford going to head the line here. Sacramento and San Antonio will play a deciding game 3 tomorrow night. San Antonio just blew them out yesterday in Texas. And again, Phoenix just 1 win away from advancing.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is not going to be an easy out. Sacramento is maybe the best defensive team in the league along with Detroit, but Becky Hammond just continues to do the job. Struggled in game 1, stepped up big in game 2.
20 points and 3 steals yesterday as they just bowled over Sacramento. So those 2 teams will decide it. And I talked to Carol Lawson after the game. She said, I've never not played in a Western Conference final. I mean, think about it. They get there every year. She has 1 ring already. And now in a position where if they lose, they are out in the first round for the first time in a long time.
So right now, Bill Lambier trying to buy some time with Katie Smith on the bench.
5th tie of the game already. New York wins this game. This series is over. New York, a losing record during the regular season. Jess Davenport passes out. Pee-wee Johnson up to Tweety Nolan. And the rebound is off of Aaron Thorne's hands. The ball will stay with the shot. Catherine Crayville and Janelle McCarville come back in. Detroit has gone stone cold. They've missed 9 of their last 11 shots.
And some of them have been at close range. Remember the Braxton layup that she blew. You have to come back with these 2 posts for New York. The 2 rookies not getting it done. Jackson and Davenport struggling.
Oh, boy, that's a nice look inside to Cheryl Ford, who has 6. And Detroit has the lead again.
Yeah, she's been a hard matchup for New York. You'll see Christian doing the job for the New York Liberty very efficiently.
Marville trying to get behind Braxton in the paint, but they don't find her. Crayville, that's a long 3, and she hits it.
That's their advantage. I mean, you don't want Cheryl Ford if you're Detroit checking at 23 feet, but that's what you're asking her to do, guarding Crayville.
Crayville at 6'4" in her 3rd season out of Oregon. New York right now living by the jump shot as they have not scored inside the key area. Lori Moore driving on Tweety Nolan and unable to get it home, perhaps looking for a foul, but was not called. Nolan elevates as high as anybody in this league. Pearson gets the offensive rebound and on the 2nd try gets it home.
I'll tell you what, the officials thus far have done a really good job. I know the coach is complaining it is physical in the post, but they're not calling Lynette Pearson, who generally likes to make the official blow the whistle with some acting. They're not falling for it.
They're not going for that performance as Christian's outside shot went halfway down and back out again. Johnson for 3, leaving it short. Pee-wee has been throwing up quite a few shots, just 1 for 4 from the field.
Yeah, and you know what? Go inside to your strength. You're dominating New York in the paint. Don't shoot jump shots.
Crayville again bringing Ford away from the hoop. McCarville inside. Doesn't get it to fall, but will head to the free throw line as Braxton is whistled for her 1st personal. More on Janelle McCarville. Let's go back to Rebecca Lobo.
Guys, you'll see the tattoo with the initials BDM on Janelle McCarville's left forearm. Those are her mother's initials. Janelle got the tattoo in the summer of 2003 after her mom, Bonnie, was diagnosed with colon cancer. Bonnie would schedule her treatments around Janelle's college and WNBA games because she said watching her daughter was better therapy than chemo. It got her mind off the disease. Bonnie passed away in April. Guys, during her senior year at Minnesota, Janelle said, I got the tattoo with my mom's initials because it reminds me of how tough life is for her. I want to bring her some relief by playing the best I can every time I step on the court.
Yeah, she says she wants to make her mother proud, Rebecca. Well, what a year for Janelle McCarville. Mom's looking down and smiling because this is a young woman who is finding herself as a person and as a player. Maturity, it's a beautiful thing.
Most improved player in the league, very well deserved, as her team is still
going to get another championship. We've got to get them healthy.
And let's bring in now Cheryl Reeve, the one of the assistant coaches for the Detroit Shock. And Cheryl, you guys, your team seems to be responding well from the loss. Why is that?
Well, we just were really disappointed in our effort in game 1. I mean, that just, you know, was just disappointing is an understatement.
Cheryl, New York is the best three-point shooting team in the league. They're 4 of 6 to start this basketball game. Where are you breaking down and guarding that particular area?
I don't know if we're so much breaking down. They do such a good job penetrating. Now, we got to contain the penetration a little bit better. But, you know, they've made some tough threes. You know, McCarville was pretty deep on that one that she hit. You know, and they shoot that ball with confidence, and we got to be able to stay a little closer to them.
You've outscored New York 16-zip in the paint. Why are you dominating?
Well, that's who we are. Yeah, that's where we like to score the ball. I think we having Cheryl Ford back now, you know, it's been really helpful and be able to put the ball inside.
All right, Cheryl, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the way. Cheryl Reeve, coaching with Rick Mahorn and Bill Lambier. That must be interesting.
Well, I'll tell you, Bill Lambier acknowledged the fact that she doesn't get very much attention, despite the fact that she's the most detail-oriented, the player or the person on their staff who is most likely to be into the details. It takes a strong woman to fit in with two such dynamic, strong personalities.
Two of the bad boys, and Bill Lambier and Rick Mahorn back in the Pistons' glory days, or the previous glory days. They've since returned there. And Cheryl Reeve doing a lot of the X's and O's in the prep work. Ashley Battle off the mark, and rebound taken down by who else? The rebounding machine in Cheryl Ford. Led the league in rebounds when she went out. Had she played enough games, would have gotten credit for that title. And she's going to head back to the free throw line. They are the bad boys, and here is a poster from their heyday. Look at those two tough guys, Lambier and Mahorn. Back when they played with Isaiah and the rest of those great guys and won titles. Let's go to Rebecca Lobo.
Pam, I talked to both coaches about their relationship before the game, and Rick Mahorn told me, early on, I didn't like Bill. He was an arrogant punk. Punk, of course, being my word. He said, eventually, I learned that he was the guy that didn't need to play. He was a trust fund boy with a silver spoon in his mouth. I was a ghetto kid. When I first got here, he told me my job. He was correct, but I didn't want to hear it from him. Bill said Rick had to learn how to play ball. He was a thug, that's all. It was a team effort to teach him. Of course, now you ask them, how was your relationship? After 2 years playing together, great.
An impressive tandem. I don't think you can question that what they've gotten out of each and every one of their players. I mean, every single player is better for having been coached by these two guys and by Cheryl Reeve. We cannot overlook her contributions.
So one called the other one a thug, the other called the other one a punk. That's about right.
A little give and take.
And that might have been an edited version of what they call each other. They have a swear jar, actually, in the locker room that their contributions are made for every time Bill Lambier pulls out one of his choice words.
Janelle McCarville frustrated. She's had a couple of turnovers trying to do too much. That one not really on her. The pass led her to a difficult place.
Detroit up by 1 as the ball bounces to Pearson. Off the mark, rebound battle for, and Lori Moore comes away with it. Moore running the show for New York. Christian inside, and they're going to get a charging call on Shamika.
Now remember the report Rebecca did earlier in this half. Katie Smith and Bill Lambier employing the Detroit shop to go ahead and take a charge.
Hey, 4 up. Yo, 4 up, Vienna.
And they did just that as Christian's called for her second foul. Both teams called. Detroit's missed its last 6 shots. New York its last 5. But it's just a 1-point ball game.
If you're New York, you are just trying to hang tough. You want to be in this game down the stretch because Detroit would have more pressure in that final 4 or 5 minutes to finish this off.
Foul called underneath. New York trying to get a charge call, but instead they'll get a blocking call on Lori Moore, her first. So when you get into crunch time with Detroit, they have some players that you already mentioned, Katie Smith, but Tweety Nolan also. They have some great finishers, which separates them from many teams in this league. They have more than just one option in crunch time.
145 games played in the playoffs amongst their personnel.
You see Katie Smith was shut out in the playoffs for the first time in her wonderful career in Game 1.
Now, there is one of the best finishers in the league in crunch time. Her game-winning or game-extending shots are ridiculous. It's about 7, I believe. And many of those big shots have come against the New York Liberty.
So tough to match up against Tweety Nolan, struggling from the floor so far tonight, but this afternoon just 1 for 5. Aaron Thorne, swing the ball over to Lori Moore, who buries the 3-pointer. 5 points for sorry, 6 points for Moore on her second three of the day. And they're looking to run. That's a tough pass that should not have been made as Pearson picks it off. Thorne going for the touchdown. And Detroit gets a relatively easy shot on the other end.
You don't expect Aaron Thorne to make those kinds of mistakes. He's a player who's an assistant coach for BYU in the offseason, thinks the game, wants to be a coach when her career's over. That's too tough a pass to make.
That's a pass. If she was on the bench coaching BYU, she yelled at the player not to do it.
Yes.
Ford with 9 points and 6 boards. McCarville can't get it home. Still nothing in the paint for New York.
Get the ball. Katie, other side.
Detroit leading by 2 in a game where neither team is led by more than 5 points. Katie Smith trying to give him that 5-point lead, and she does. Katie into double figures with 10. And now this crowd, which has been dormant for much of the game, trying to get back into it. Lori Moore in and cannot finish on the layup.
Got to be careful here if you're New York. You do not want to get this thing into double digits. You need some stops.
Just under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Cash against Battle, a couple of UConn kids. And Swin will be heading to the free throw line to shoot 2 when we come back. Katie Smith got shut out in the first game. You knew she wasn't going to get it shut out in this one. Give her a little bit of room. She'll take it and bury the 3.
More like it. Now, prom dresses are like bridesmaids' dresses. You look back and you go, I'm not sure I wanted to do that one.
A scrapbook for Katie Smith, who has taken a well-deserved break, and you see no one in the history of women's pro ball has scored more points than she has, and the top 3-point shooter in league history, 4th in points, and just a great, great basketball player.
She's one of those players who does whatever is necessary. Scoring, passing, leadership, toughness, defense, whatever you need on a particular night, she'll provide it.
Nice one. She is one tough kid as Swin Cash heads to the line, and Katie with 10 points. She had none in game 1. Detroit now with its largest lead of the game at 6. Rebound, Kara Braxton can't bring it in. Janelle McCarville has it. But Liberty have no points in the paint, no second chance points, no fast break points, and yet Doris are only down by 6.
Yeah, now Detroit, it looks like showing them a bit of zone. Indeed they are.
Hit 2 field goals in this quarter. Shamika Christian in and out, rebound, battled for, and Plannette Pearson comes away with it.
That is a Plannette Pearson rebound right there. Hustle point. She's got 3 steals and rebounds out of her area.
Drafted originally by Phoenix, and then Bill Lambier traded for Elaine Powell. That's a lot of body by Aaron Thorne. No foul called, but with 12 seconds left on the shot clock, Detroit gets it back.
The Detroit staff has done a magnificent job of buying time for Nolan and Smith, playing them periodically to protect from foul trouble.
Picked up 2 relatively early fouls. Kara Braxton gets inside for her first bucket.
Just continue to add to the points of the paint. Well, your field goal percentage will look pretty good when you get shots like that.
Lead is now 8. New York has only scored 4 points in the last 6 minutes. We're inside a minute in the first half. Christian swings it over to McCarville. Jumper that was well short. And then Ashley Battle knocking down Pee Wee Johnson.
I feel like they've completely taken McCarville out of this basketball game. She has 3 turnovers, a couple of really poor missed shots. And look at this. Game 1, points in the paint were even. And when New York has been successful, they haven't always outscored them, but they've matched them. Not the case today.
20-0, points in the paint. Ashley Battle just picked up her 3rd personal foul, and that will send Pee Wee Johnson to the free throw line. Coming up, Saturday night football returns to ABC. It's college football. Season premiere SEC powerhouse Tennessee heads west to take on Deshaun Jackson and Cal. Golden Bears try to avenge a 35-18 season opening loss from last year. Saturday, September 1st at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. College football lives here on ABC.
You've got a terrific game on your schedule. West Virginia Marshall. That should be an intriguing one, a rivalry game.
Yep, that's my 2nd game coming up of this season.
Back to the zone goes Detroit. And all of this without Katie Smith and Deanna Nolan on the floor.
Detroit has scored 10 in a row. And Tiffany Jackson comes in right away, attacks the basket, and will head to the free throw line as Braxton picks up her second. Patty Coyle very confident about this game, and sort of took umbrage when you said there would be a tough one to win today, Doris.
Yeah, I told her that I thought they'd be hard-pressed to win it. I like their chances better in game 3 than today. But Pat Coyle is a tough-minded competitor. Teammate alongside her sister Mary at Rutgers. You look at her, and she's not the prototypical basketball player, Pat Coyle, but she's tough-minded. She knows the game. She's had great mentors. Lynn Dunn, Teresa Grentz, Jim Foster, Richie Adebayo taught her the pro game.
As McCarville goes out. She is from New Jersey and kind of has that
Philly.
Kind of.
Don't be messing with her.
Is she from the city?
Girl.
I thought she was a South Jersey girl. I'm sorry, Philly girl. So that's even tougher, right? And a foul on the other end, Kara Braxton and company. And Swin Cash has a chance for a three-point play.
Transition points, you must shut Detroit down. Shannon Johnson has given them great minutes in both game 1 and game 2. Swin Cash gets out early, beats New York up the floor, and an and one for Swin.
And the lead has ballooned up to 39-29. As the Detroit Shock have started to run away with it here in the second quarter. Cash completes the three-point play. She has 8. And you see the field goal percentage. We figured it had to catch up to New York at one point or another. When you're only shooting jump shots, your percentage has to go down.
Well, plus Detroit has had something to do with that. They're #1 in the league in field goal percentage D.
Thorne misses the 3. Shot clock is off. Pee-wee right at Lori Moore. Blows by her and hits it.
Boy, you should take your time here if you're New York. Take one shot, make sure it's a good one.
Oh, and that's a ill-conceived pass as Moore tried to get inside.
They dodge a bullet there.
Yep.
There's a little bit of a force there by Lori Moore.
6.8 seconds left. Detroit on a 15-2 run. And New York at least trying to get something positive before they hit the half.
Largest point differential advantage for Detroit in this series.
Thorne dribbling around. Ferris from the outside. Barbara Ferris, her first shot goes in. 1.2 seconds left. Ball tipped by Jackson. Thorne unable to capitalize. Detroit outscoring New York 23-11 in the second quarter. New York led by 1 after 1. And we'll head into the locker room down by 11.
This is nothing we haven't seen in the finals last year. They were blown out in games 1 and 3 and responded. They did in the first 20.
Katie Smith has responded so far. She's with Rebecca Lobo.
Katie, the game's tied with 3:20 to go in that second quarter. Why were you able to take control the last 3 minutes?
You know, our energy, we hit some shots, we got on the boards, we played some D, got some stops. So just the energy is so much better today. It's not always pretty, but we're getting the job done right now. We just got to do the same in the second half.
All right, Katie, thank you. Pam?
All right, Rebecca and Katie Smith leading the way. 10 points for her with Detroit, including hitting from the outside. Shamika Christian has 10 for New York. It's a 42-31 Detroit lead. We'll be back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
The WNBA playoffs on.
As we're going to head over now to the third member of our team, Rebecca Lobo.
Pam talked to both coaches at the half. Patty Coyle said New York's biggest concern is rebounding and our turnovers. She said we did a decent job in the half court defensively. Said they have a real concern, obviously, with points in the paint. She said it's going to be a different second half. That is for sure. Bill Lambier sat Katie Smith and Deanna Nolan for some of that first half because they had 2 fouls. He said we needed to protect ourselves. I asked him, do you feel good where you're at? No. If we have the same intensity, we'll be okay. But the biggest thing with us this year, can we keep the intensity in the second half?
And Janelle McCarville finally gets New York its first points in the paint as she drives the baseline. I don't know any coach who ever says that he is content or feels in a good situation.
Well, he acknowledges they are more talented than New York, but it doesn't make them a better team. He's got to come with that intensity. Katie Smith told Rebecca at the half, it's about our energy.
And Jeannie Nolan elevating as well as anybody in this league with her 4th point. Pee-wee Johnson actually playing just under 10 minutes in that first half, so not only giving them a break because of the foul trouble with 2 of the starters, but also giving them the much-needed rest that Bill Laimbeer thinks his veterans need.
6 points, 3 assists, 2 boards for Pee-wee Johnson.
McCarville firing away from the outside. That will not fall. Tweedy Nolan going to wait for some help. He was at 1-on-4 for a couple of seconds. Cheryl Ford did start this basketball game, came off the bench in game 1 after missing the last 19 games of the regular year with a knee injury as that one pops out. And they're going to get cash for holding on to Shamika Christian.
For Cheryl, okay, call for it.
Bill Laimbeer and Pat Coyle, both of the head coaches, are mic'd up in this game. New York winning game 1, blowing open a game that was tied 25 all at the half, and they won it 73-51 at the Garden.
They could use a couple of their patented 3-point shots. There's another turnover that was addressed by Pat Coyle.
As Crayville threw that one away.
If you're going to make that pass, it has to be a bounce pass. It's the only way she's going to catch that.
11 turnovers now for the New York Liberty. Points in the paint, 26-2. Nolan again. And the Detroit lead is up to 13. The decisive game 3 would be Tuesday night right here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Christian with the step back, but can't fall, and here comes Nolan.
Good looking move to create space.
Nolan's found a rhythm, I think.
Yeah, I think you got to come with somebody off the bench to check her because Thorne simply isn't up to it physically.
And the score here in the third quarter is Tweedy Nolan 6, Detroit 2. She has all 6 of their points.
Pat Coyle says the best guard in the league is Tweedy Nolan. Look at that elevation. Erin Thorne is no match. Tweedy Nolan, an explosive, streaky, dominant scorer when she wants to be.
Hi, I'm Deanna Nolan of Detroit Shock, and you're watching the WNBA on ABC.
Out. She's got 10. Battle playing with 3 personal. She actually is on Swin Cash, who's able to find some iron.
You know what, Rick Mahorn just had a conversation with Swin Cash prior to her hitting the floor. You wonder if he said be aggressive.
If he did, she was, and it worked.
He's had a profound influence on this team. You've got Bill, who kind of tests them, is very, can be sarcastic in his criticisms. But I think both guys and Cheryl Reeve just make players better.
Couple of championships last year and also in 2003 for the Shock. McCarville was just called for her first foul on one end and picks up her second one on this end as she rolls over Katie Smith.
Feeds the middle.
Katie Feenstra, the 6'8" center out of Liberty University, checking in, so some size with Ford and Feenstra. And Feenstra posts up McCarville, and they get it right away.
Yeah, 6'8" with a strong body and solid touch and approach. It's really, to me, just a matter of time under the right staff for Katie Feenstra to be dominant.
Traded for Ruth Riley in the offseason as Lori Moore carries her 8th point of the afternoon.
I like the toughness of Lori Moore. Likes to compete.
Moore, the first-round draft choice out of Tennessee. That's a walk, and they get it. And I have to admit, when Lori Moore was taken in the first round by New York, I was a little bit surprised and really did not think she would be this good as a pro. And talked to Pat Coyle about that today.
Yeah, her sister Mary, who does some work with Nike, had her at a high school camp and just loved her. Thought she was physically tough. She had dominated, and Pat will tell you, the person she trusts most in the world is her sister Mary, who's an excellent basketball mind.
Crayville misses the 3, rebound taken down by Ford to the rebounding machine. And Laimbeer wants a quick 20-second timeout.
Yeah, it's a new rule. Coaches can call a timeout this season as opposed to last.
They can call it from the bench, but Lori Moore has turned into a great leader as Cheryl Ford has been banged up. Ford again missing the last 19 regular season games with the knee injury, and this is something up around her eye. We will check on her and have more when we return to the Palace of Auburn Hill.
The WNBA playoffs on ABC. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Adidas, the official outfitter of the WNBA. Southwest Airlines, official airline of the WNBA. And the new Discover Motiva card pays you back for paying on time.
Welcome back on a beautiful August afternoon. The Palace of Auburn Hills. Cheryl Ford has the ice applied to her forehead because of this play.
It's a non-contact sport. You're going to see Catherine McCarville a little pop to the head as she tried to go over and screen for Janelle McCarville.
So she has got the bag of ice up on her head as Detroit leads it 52-37. New York leading this best-of-3 series, 1-0. But right now, they are being bowled over.
Well, they just changed their look defensively. They did a diamond and one pressure into a simple zone. Just a turnover there. Deanna looks like she's ready to go without the basketball.
10 turnovers now for Detroit. New York last led at 23-22. Since then, they've been outscored 30-14.
Great hedge by Braxton.
McCarville left open just inside the three-point line, and Janelle McCarville has a dozen.
Yeah, that's your teammate's fault. Now Braxton jumps out, works hard, stops the basketball, and then you got to help the helper.
Detroit lead is now 13. Braxton working against McCarville down low, and she goes right at her.
Well, they continue to dominate points in the paint, and you notice now you've got to keep Crayville and McCarville on the floor. The young post players, Jackson and Davenport, did not play well in the first. I don't think they're an option for New York here in the second. If they are, it's for limited minutes. So will fatigue hurt McCarville and Crayville down the stretch?
Nolan again elevating, this time off the mark. McCarville comes down with the rebound. Points in the paint, 30-2 in favor of the shot. Crayveld, good help by Braxton to get over, but Crayveld is able to get the basket anyway. Catherine has 5, her first basket since the three put them up 23-22.
You'd love to have this at 10 or just inside going into the fourth period. Make some shots in the fourth, put some pressure on Detroit.
Trying to get it down to something manageable. And right in front of Bill Lambier, Ashley Battle picks up her 4th.
Watch this exchange out here. Now Braxton is going to do a heck of a job. She's going to jump out on the screen and stop the basketball. Now Pearson doesn't have a choice. She's got 2 people in there. Swin Cash just kind of gets lost. You got to know what you're doing against a pick and roll. You're going to make the switch or not. And as a result, New York gets a basket.
Lynette Pearson working the baseline to perfection. She had a very good first half. 5 points, 3 steals, and 7 rebounds.
Consistently excellent has been Lynette Pearson all season long.
Crayveld gets inside of everybody. Christian with the nice feed.
Stop it!
But he's addressing the replay we just did, okay? Because that's another screen and roll, and we switched it again, and he's angry at it. You know how you're going to play pick and rolls.
But Detroit still holding on to the 13-point lead. Nolan missing everything, asking for the foul, but doesn't get it. And quickly, Lori Moore brings it up court, and the foul not called, but McCarville played on and got the follow.
Get Braxton right now.
Seems like an old Statue of Liberty playing football as Lori Moore just kept going while Katie Smith and others were looking towards the officials.
Well, remember what Rebecca said Bill talked about, our intensity, our focus.
Smith with the miss, Crayville gets it. And here they go as they could try to nip into this lead even more, get it into single digits.
This team makes enough threes that they're always in the game.
Oh boy, Ashley Battle losing it. Braxton and Crayveld have to jump it. Coming up tonight on ESPN2, Game 2 between Seattle and Phoenix. That starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. If Phoenix wins, that series is over. And a doubleheader Monday on NBA TV. Decisive games, Connecticut at Indiana, followed by Sacramento at San Antonio. And a couple of if necessary games on Tuesday. New York at Detroit and/or Phoenix at Seattle. Both those games on ESPN2. For a complete listing, go to WNBA.com.
Well, Phoenix was impressive. Diana Taurasi taking exception to people thinking they're not a good defensive team. They did a heck of a job on Lauren Jackson in game 1.
Boy, Jackson was totally shut down in the fourth quarter. Janelle McCarville has 8 points so far in the third quarter. Detroit led by 11 at the break. And Cheryl Ford, bump on her head and all, comes in, and Kara Braxton takes a seat.
To me, she's the toughest matchup for New York in the post.
McCarville and Ford right now. Boy, Katie Smith coming in knocking down the layup.
Straight clear out play for her.
Katie with a dozen after she was shut out in game 1.
I know, just keep playing. I know, just keep playing.
Katie Smith called for a technical for yapping at the referee for a foul.
This is the one area she's such a competitor. Yeah, these are the kinds of things you can get. She's still talking to Michael Price. And I'll tell you what, there's one official in the league, and Michael Price is an excellent official. But if there's somebody you'd say has a quick T trigger, he might be the quickest. Now, it's not this play. I don't think she wanted the end one. It's after. Watch this. This is why she wanted a foul call. She's trying to make, that's a little bit of acting. I love Katie Smith, but I disagree with her wanting a foul call. It's a good no call.
So instead, they tee her up. Christian hit the free throw. And that one dribbles in.
Look at this. This is just where you want it if you're New York. If you can get inside 10, put some pressure on there, that's a travel or a foul.
They got the foul. Lisa Willis just checking in, and second-year player out of UCLA who was picked up from LA for Sherelle Baker earlier in the season got the bucket. There's some playoff recaps for you. Indiana coming back so nicely. Anna DeForge is playing out of her mind in this series. And we've already talked about the way Phoenix has handled Seattle and Sacramento and San Antonio. One more to go.
Yeah, what physical and mental toughness by Tamika Catchings to be playing in that basketball game and to the level she's playing. Asia Jones on the other side, a tender ankle.
It's amazing, because you and I both were at that game 1. Triple overtime, and both of those players were able to come back and play well in game 2. And look who's in the house today. Lindsey Harding, the terrific rookie from Minnesota, unfortunately had her season cut short because of an injury.
You wonder if she's in the mix for Rookie of the Year. The voters believe she's missed too many games. I'll tell you, I had on Minty Price only because I felt like Lindsey missed too many games.
And I also voted for Minty, who had a great all-around year, the rookie out of Ole Miss for Chicago. But Lindsey Harding is definitely the front runner for Rookie of the Year when she got hurt.
Great defense.
Yep, shot clock's at 2. Christian has to put one up. And Tweety Nolan skies in for the rebound. Katie Smith, she's angry. And I left that one short. Lots of physical stuff. Cash to the floor. Moore looking for some help. Willis says, I'll just throw up a 3, and it goes down. Lisa Willis has hit both of her shots since coming in about a minute and a half ago. And it is a 9-point Detroit lead.
It's going to be closer. It has to be closer. They're not going to put enough pressure on it.
Boy, Smith knew as soon as she put that one up that it was going to miss. And she missed it badly. Katie's shot has just been not what it should be all season long, and she only has 2 points here in the quarter. And that was on a layup. One minute to go in the third quarter.
A 9 or 10-point cushion doesn't put enough pressure on Detroit down the stretch of this game. With 5 minutes to play, New York has got to be within 4 in order to make Detroit feel the pressure of elimination. Can they get there?
Foul away from the ball called on Katie Smith. She has 3. Let's go over to Rebecca Lobo.
You guys, the New York Liberty, the only team without an all-star this year. They are successful because of the way they play as a team. Well, that last possession, Shamika Christian very upset that Lori Moore did not see her wide open down the floor. They continue to jaw at each other during the possession and going back defensively. How quickly are they going to react?
Wow, you know what? I thought Moore was taking some heat defensively, so I'm not sure Christian has an argument there, Rebecca. It felt like the defender got on her early.
10-4, New York run. Shot clock's at 4. Crayveld, yes! That's a long 2 for Crayveld, and now they're nipping at their heels.
Pat Coyle says she's the toughest player. She said, I knew she was skilled, but so tough, plays through so many painful injuries, does Catherine Crayveld.
Dad was a football player. She sort of has that mentality as well. Shot clock at 7. Pearson notices and makes, or misses it rather, and here we go. New York with 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Christian has to take the last shot. It's a long 2. It is off the mark, but New York doing exactly what they needed to do, closing the third quarter on a 12-4 run. Detroit in a must-win situation. New York closed on a 12-4 run in the third quarter. They only trailed by 7 heading into the fourth quarter in a game that Detroit has to win.
And they are starting to make shots. This is a very good shooting team. McCarville gets high side. McCarville, offensive board, putback, could have been an and one. Lisa Willis, out of nowhere, a couple shots off the bench. Lynette Pearson standing with her hands down, and then under duress of Pearson, McCarville sticks a big one. Now remember, in game one, New York went on 2 major runs. One in the third, one in the fourth, 18 and 16-0 respectively. And there's a big one in the third today, 12-4. But Pammy, they've got to be close under 4 minutes. I mean, this thing's got to be within 4. You've got an experienced Detroit team. They will not feel the heat of elimination unless you're that close.
The Detroit Shock, the defending WNBA champions, and how big of an upset would this be? Well, New York, they were a losing team in the regular season, a 16 and 18 record, had to beat Chicago on the last day of the season to even qualify for the playoffs. And they're in a 7-point hole. Nolan with the miss, rebound tipped and controlled by Lori Moore.
Looks like she was a little bit gimpy, maybe landed on McCarville coming down off that jump shot.
Then McCarville working down low against Swin Cash. Good help from Pearson. Willis almost 3 for 3 from the floor, but McCarville gets the nice offensive rebound and a fresh 24.
That is not an easy thing to do, having played under 3 minutes to come in and make shots.
And Lori Moore with the three-pointer. And what had once been a 17-point lead is down to 4. And this crowd has gotten really quiet. I don't think they're quite believing what they're seeing. Swin Cash inside, rims out. McCarville with another rebound.
Boy, that first step of Swin, though, when that's going, she is a tough check on the face-off.
You mentioned Healthy coming back from the knee injury so quick. The game back together this year. McCarville, a little head fake on Pearson. And the ball was tipped, so now backcourt. Shot clock, though, at 3. And Pearson blocks it out of bounds. 1 second left on the shot clock as McCarville and Clonette have a little conversation.
Well, that's the 4th time New York has had to beat the buzzer. Now they've got to do it here again. You've got 1 full second. How about this defense? Looks like McCarville's got a step, but Clonette never gives up her effort. Timing is beautiful. Great play, Clonette Pearson.
So New York has to catch and shoot, but they can't get it in cleanly. It goes off of Tiffany Jackson's hands. And it's a shot clock violation. And the ball goes over to Bill Lambier's ball club.
Okay? All right, you know, if they see you getting pissed like that, they're going to get pissed, okay? All right, you know, I know you're getting killed, okay? But, you know, you got to keep working, okay? You got to keep working, all right?
Matt Coyle doing some coaching with Janelle McCarville, taking her out after the exchange with Clonette Pearson. Deanna Nolan with the follow. She's got 10.
Pat Coyle admits to being frustrated at times this season. Young mistakes over and over. Got a shot here.
Moore misses from outside the three-point range. Had a wide open 3 and it rimmed out. Shannon Johnson, veteran point guard, now coming off the bench for the shot. Something new in her career. Oh, Clonette Pearson's tough.
Just a completely different demeanor, confidence, assertive nature to Clonette this season as opposed to all her prior seasons in the league.
She has 10 of Detroit's 21 points off the bench. And the lead, which was once 4, is doubled back to 8. Willis dribbles it off her foot. Christian for 3. And the long rebound taken in by Clonette Pearson. So New York starting to miss now from the outside. And Detroit slows it up.
Well, you can miss shots, but you have to be consistent defensively with your effort and try to make Detroit miss some shots.
Pearson driving into McCarville, then they'll get Clonette for the personal foul, her second on the charge. Bill Lambier, understated this time on the sidelines. See Pearson off the bench working on a double-double. 11 points and 9 boards.
At one point, they were dominating the rebounding category, 13-1, the bench rebounds. Plinet a big part of that.
Coyle calling a timeout from the bench. Full timeout with 6:54 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Plinet Pearson has been the best sixth person in the WNBA on both sides of the ball. Block shot of the much taller McCarville. They have a word or two to say to one another. It's getting testy. Goes down and makes the basket on the other end. No better.
Collegiate career capped off by the surprise run to the Sweet 16. They beat Penn State and DePaul in order to get there. Katie not seeing a lot of minutes in this game. McCarville back in off the bench, and her second effort pays off.
How about that move? Little spin, use the dribble to get close, and the persistence to get the bucket down when you need it.
25 pounds lighter than last year, and the most improved player in the league. Go over to Rebecca Lobo now, B.
Well, guys, the play to Janelle McCarville by design. In that last huddle, Patty Coyle told her team the ball has to go inside. And then she said to Jackson McCarville, you have to be strong. We've got to box out. How about this, Doris? She said, we've got to cut this to 4. Score, stop, score.
Yeah, it's the only way they feel the heat enough, Rebecca. How about McCarville, who's made 3 great plays in a row? In the last defensive sequence, she was in a 2-on-1. She was outnumbered defensively, a little shimmy shake, and she causes a turnover. Girls playing some ball right now.
Janelle McCarville now with 18 points, and it is down to 4. They got the score, the stop, and the score, and they're looking for another stop. Katie Smith for 3. Short again. 2-on-2, now 3-on-2. More to Christian. Tiffany Jackson working against Katie Smith, and they're going to get Jackson for the foul.
Offensive foul. I think they feel like she put her shoulder into the defender. Pat Coyle was calling for Lori Moore to go get this thing. How about this? Katie Smith. Great defensive play. I think it's a good call.
A little embellishment, too, for Katie, but a good call, and that's what you do when you're Katie Smith. You're not a great basketball player for nothing.
Make them blow the whistle. Yep. Maybe she didn't get that technical foul for nothing. Maybe it pays dividends somewhere.
Oh, right down the middle. Plinet Pearson, though, leaves it just on the front rim. And New York tries to cut the lead to 1 with this 3. Well, Lisa Willis, who hit her first couple of shots, has misfired on the last 2.
That's a quick shot.
Yep. Not what you want to see. Willis was a good acquisition. To see her minutes diminish as the season went on, as they traded her for Sherelle Baker. Baker was languishing on the bench for the Liberty. Nolan elevates, yes, and she'll have an opportunity to add to it.
The New York defender fell down. Shamika Christian is checking Deanna Nolan. It's actually Lisa Willis who fell down. But look at this elevation. I mean, this is just maybe the prettiest jump shot in the league to me is Deanna Nolan.
Certainly a pure jump shot, really gets up in the air. Christian now with 3 fouls, and Tweety Nolan completes the 3-point play in her 7th season out of the University of Georgia. And the lead back up to 7. And we are inside of 5 minutes. Every possession magnified now for New York. Christian from the outside looked good off her hands, and it was good.
What unbelievable rotation by Christian. Now, she brings a lower release point than Nolan, but that was pretty.
14, Swin Cash working the baseline, and another opportunity for a 3-point play.
New York making some young mistakes right now, okay? The quick shot by Willis on a prior possession. Let this go, Lisa Willis. Let it go. You're not going to make that block. Not against a player's experience and as good around the rim as Swin Cash. Let that go.
Cash at least a couple of inches taller, and Willis has made a couple of mistakes here in crunch time. Rebound battle for, but Plinet Pearson cannot control it.
I think Crayville's got to come in for Jackson. You need Willis on the floor, and the reason being she gives you athleticism that Thorne doesn't. So she's going to stay for now.
And we notice, too, Erin Thorne has she's got like a heating pad that she had been holding against her back.
Why did they let Crayville in the game at that point? That was a dead ball. I'm confused by that.
It's a great question, and like you might have seen Patty Coyle roll her head. And a block against Lynette Pearson. Patty Coyle also baffled as to why she was not allowed to make that substitution.
I thought she was at the scorer's table prior to that possession.
China.
3 fouls now on Lynette Pearson. And Tiffany Jackson, who is not a good free throw shooter, heads to the line. The rookie out of Texas, 5th overall pick in the first round of the latest draft. About 57% during the regular year, but she's 3 for 3 today. Follow along on WNBA.com throughout the postseason for player blogs, exciting videos, photo galleries, as well as expert analysis from Doris Burke and Carolyn Peck, and players like Katie Smith and Lori Moore as we cover the excitement of the WNBA playoffs, all at WNBA.com. If I didn't mention Carolyn, I'd have to hear about it later. Carolyn is in Phoenix to broadcast that game along with Dave Pash and Holly Rowe tonight as Phoenix tries to kick Seattle away for this season.
Carolyn is undefeated as an analyst.
She loves being undefeated as a head coach right about now, too.
Nolan, yes! Hard to check that. I mean, you know, you do not want to go under a screen. This is too good a shooter in big moments.
So just when New York starts nipping at the heels, Detroit extends the lead back to 6, and we are inside of 4 minutes. McCarville posting up against Pearson. That has been a heck of a matchup to watch in this game. Shot clock at 5, and Pearson fouls McCarville on the jumper.
Deanna Nolan says, you may not like Bill Lambier because he's going to be on your case if you don't play to the level you're capable of. She said, but you are going to hear it, and you are going to listen, and you're going to be better for it, and she is better for it.
Never finished higher than 8th in MVP balloting, despite all of her great credentials. McCarville now with 19 points.
I really believe they're the best backcourt in the league. I think I'd take Deanna Nolan and Katie Smith against anybody, even with Katie's percentages down. And there are some really good ones out there. Lindsay Whalen and Katie Douglas are an outstanding tandem, but these two are something special.
Lead is at 5. Cheryl Ford working against McCarville, who blocks it and gets the ball. Moore to Christian. 3.
Look at the rotation on that shot. I mean, you want to talk about textbook spin on the basketball and roots of the rim. It is unbelievable.
Played her college ball at Arkansas, somewhat overshadowed by the Tennessee player, but she was the SEC Player of the Year, and it's coming back to New York.
Back to back, twice on the pipes by Janelle McCarville. This is the prior possession. No!
Christian for the tie. Jamaica Christian and Janelle McCarville right now have taken their play to a new level and have taken this game to a tie. New York wins and this game is over. They've tied it. 54 seconds. New York on an 8-2 run. We're tied for the first time since 27-all, and Janelle McCarville's been a beast in this quarter.
She has been an absolute beast. And here's the reality with under 3 minutes to play. Detroit is the defending champ, the weight of expectations. New York, footloose and fancy-free, and playing hard defensively is Janelle McCarville. 1 on Ford, 1 on Cash. Now, Detroit has got the championship. They think they're capable of winning. New York, no expectations, man. Nobody thought they'd be in the playoffs to start the year. Who responds better now?
Nolan with the miss, flying in for the rebound. Cheryl Ford gets it. And a foul is called against New York. Let's go over to Rebecca Lobo.
Pam Ward, after the first game with New York and the 22-point loss, Bill Lambier questioned his team's effort, heart, and determination. After going through X's and O's in that huddle, he looked at his team and said, I told you before the game there was going to be a time when your heart is going to be tested. Now is that time. We'll see how they respond.
All right, it's a test for everybody. My mistake, no foul, but a jump ball. And the shot get it as Cheryl Ford tips it back to Tweedy Nolan.
It's a heck of a lot easier to play without the weight of expectation.
16 and 18 during the regular year. Lynette Pearson can't get it to fall, but Sweet Cash cleans up.
Big timely bucket. And McCarville and Ford really slow to get up.
Both of the big bodies getting up and getting back into the play. 4-on-4 basketball. Ashley Battle goes up.
That's one of those, no, no, no. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take that.
The first shot of the game, and it's a huge one. We're tied up with 2 minutes to go. Cash on Battle.
Well, I thought she traveled.
But a foul called on Battle.
I thought she might have taken an extra step as she went into that.
5 on Ashley, but you get 6 in this league, so Swin Cash heads back to the free throw line.
You get the benefit of the second look here. Let's see, does she travel? You know, I'm not sure. I still don't know after the second look, so the officials, they got to do it on a moment-by-moment basis here.
And Cash misses the first free throw. 76% on the season. She was just 2 for 5 from the line in this game. Two for 6. Pearson can't get it, but who else but Tweety Nolan gets in there?
Sometimes it's hustling, being aggressive. You're rewarded for that. 12-5 on the offensive glass. That might just win them the game.
Tell you what, that was a huge one. Nolan grimacing in pain after the rebound, left it long. Another offensive board. Smith for 3. And finally, New York is able to grab a missed shot. Wow, we're tied up at 73, a minute and a half to go. New York wins, the series is over.
You did your job if you were New York. You are in position to win down the stretch on the road, as young as they are.
One time they trailed by 17 points in this game. McCarville and Ford. What a matchup. And it's a shot clock violation.
Youth, that's youth. That is youth. Fifth time they've had to beat the shot clock, and that time they don't do it.
So now Detroit gets the ball back. Tied up. Nolan loses Battle momentarily. That's all she needed. Rebound is taken down. Christian can't handle it. And the ball goes over to Detroit. They are getting opportunity after opportunity on misses.
Both teams have been feeling the pressure of the moment. You can feel it sitting here courtside.
Detroit Shock, the defending WNBA champions. They also won in 2003. And this New York Liberty team coming out of nowhere trying to shock the shock. Smith and Nolan, your two money players on the outside. Cash inside the Ford, who's able to get free.
Outstanding look. Timing had to be perfect on that pass. You're going to use a timeout to get a good shot if you're New York. Chanel McCarville went for the steal. She was a second slow. Swin Cash from 15 feet is legitimate shooting the basketball. The kick to the corner. McCarville gets topside, went for the steal. Good hold off by Ford. That's nothing but strength.
Janelle, you come set it. If she's on your back, curl it. Let me ask you, we can run it the other way. She's been switching it up. She's been going on there. Okay, you know what? I want to run it this way. Guys, I want to run it this way. Come off Janelle, okay? Janelle, you said it. Kat, you said it. Janelle, you curl it, okay? Lori, look for Janelle first. You don't have it, throw it here. Let's go high-low. Be ready to shoot it, okay? Same thing, Shamika here, okay? You got a one-on-one in the post. If they don't guard you, you knock down the three, okay? All right, once we score, let's go. We'll get back in man, okay? Let's go, come on.
No three balls. No three-point plays. Let's go, get a stop. Shotgun 3, 1, 2, 3.
Couple things on New York's huddle. First and foremost, you like the thought Pat put in their head right before you left the huddle. Once we make the shot, you always do that. It's like somebody shooting the free throw. Once you make the free throws, here's what. The other thing that was interesting is you see the timeouts, both with a timeout. Detroit obviously with a little bit of an advantage there. A foul to give on each side. The other thing was she looked for input. How are they guarding this play? McCarville said they're slipping. So you get input from your players. Let's see what New York runs here.
Moore with the ball. Crayvell guarded by Ford. McCarville and Pearson has been a great battle all day. Janelle forces one up. Rebound Cheryl Ford, who calls the timeout. 23.5 seconds left. And they needed the basket and couldn't get it.
Yeah, Pat Coyle wanted the foul. This is Plinnett. Little forearm, checking, nothing wrong there. You know, you haven't made that call all game. The only thing you could have called was body, and they haven't called it all game, so at least it was consistent with what has transpired throughout the rest of the game.
We're going to go for a steal first, okay? Remember, the ball's got to come inbounds first, okay, before we foul them, all right? Go for the steal first, all right? We'll go for the steal first, all right, and then we're going to foul them, okay? Whoever, make sure the ball comes in first, all right? Go, liberty first, all right? Go.
The reason being you've got a foul to give. So you want the steal. If you can get it, then you can use the foul in the next possession. That's why she doesn't want him to do it first.
So Plinnett Pearson now with a career high in playoffs with 12 rebounds off the bench. The reason why she is probably going to win the 6th Player of the Year award. She's been so good all season. But right now,
she did a heck of a job on that possession. That is not, McCarville is not an easy guard for Plinnett.
So New York going for the steal right away. They don't get it, and they finally get the foul with 21.5 seconds left. They did have a foul to give, and now they have none to give. McCarville on the bench. Katie Smith loses the ball. New York has another opportunity to tie or win. Unbelievable.
Go get
New York trying to guard hard. Little double team by Jackson. Some contact. Katie Smith loses control of the basketball. Lori Moore thinking about pushing. Realizes she doesn't have anything. Goes to her coach.
Come on, set it back, screen for Cat, okay? We're looking for, actually, you two switch, okay? Set it for Janelle. We'll look directly in first, okay? If we don't have it, you're coming off, okay? We're setting the second screen. Five's getting 2 for the jumper and the win. Okay? No time. We got time, guys.
So your center setting your screen for the 2 guard, but remember early, the first thing they're going to look for is that initial look into the post. You see that a lot in both the NBA and WNBA. The entry pass right into the post if they don't check it initially. Otherwise, it's a center screen for the 2 guard.
Detroit does have a foul to give. New York is out of timeouts. Lori Moore finding McCarville, this time guarded by Ford, and there's the foul. Wow. 13.2 seconds left to go in the game, so neither team with the foul to give.
That's the second one. Jamaica.
No timeouts to set your play.
Cheryl.
Detroit has 1 timeout, New York none. Battle with the basketball. 2 to tie. McCarville gets a block. Pearson with another block. And Plinnett Pearson coming up big again down low, rejects the shot.
But Plinnett, 2 big defensive plays. Does she foul Catherine Crayvell on the dribble drive? Screen out front. Pat Coyle goes absolutely ballistic, but you know what? I thought it was a good play defensively. I really and truly thought it was a good play.
Second block of the day for Pearson. Took him a couple of seconds to get the foul as Nolan misses the free throw.
Well, Pat let him have it, but wisely those officials don't call a thing. They gave her ear right there, allowed that frustration out, and no technical.
Another double-double for Cheryl Ford, 11 points and 10 rebounds, her 10th career playoff double-double. And Tweety Nolan
battle out, Willis in, so a 3-ball, another shooter. You don't have a timeout, so you're gonna have to get this thing inbound as far up the floor as you can.
So New York down by 3 needing a miracle. Crayvell Demore, she's going to have to throw one up, and she didn't even get it off in time. So the ball game is over. Cheryl Ford's face, I think, said it all. They had a 17-point lead and barely keep their season alive. 76-73 is the final, but what a battle back for this New York Liberty team that was 16-18 during the...
And we have to show it, especially being now 0-1 at home.